I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch network. So by now you might know that we produced a documentary. It's a true crime docuseries on Hulu. It's called Killing County, and it focuses on the crime, the corruption, the cover-up that all takes place in Bakersfield, which happens to be Kevin McCarthy's congressional district. It has the highest crime rates, the highest homicide rates, the most police shooting deaths, basically in all of the United States. You want to extrapolate that as well. This is basically like most Republican-led areas. Look, the murder rate in Trump voting states has exceeded the rate in Biden voting states every year this century. The top 10 murder rate states are increasingly dominated by Trump voting states. Almost all of them are Trump voted states with Republican leaders. And look, the performative law and order, you actually have to do the work. Though you can't just have a mantra. Like, it's great to say America first. Look, we all love the United States of America, but just chanting it out loud doesn't do it. You can do it. That's great. But then you gotta put in the work and actually do it. So all that performative BS actually doesn't work. And there's a reason that there's crime and corruption that takes place, a lot in these types of areas. So one of the things that just happened, though, that I want to share with you. I mean, this docuseries has become a big hit. You may have seen it. It's had a huge impact. But then the Bakersfield Police Department, Kevin McCarthy's crew, has had to respond to the docuseries that we made. And so the way I learned about this is a reporter contacted me. I won't put the reporter's name. We'll censor out the reporter's name because the reporter was just doing their job. And it says, Bakersfield, Californian request for comments. This was directed at me. BPD Responds. Hello, this is whoever, a reporter with the Bakersfield, California. We talked yesterday about Killing County. I never talked to this person, but anyway, sure, we talked. BPD released today a statement about the documentary. Would you be willing to react to it? I have attached it below for your viewing. Please let me know if you are willing, have time to either talk or to send something written. Thank you so much. So that was sent at 1:38. I think I responded within about 20 or 30 minutes of getting that. But here's the response from the Bakersfield Police Department in response to our docuseries. This is what Kevin McCarthy's crew is saying to us. February 3rd, 2023, for immediate release. The topics in the docuseries are serious in nature. Loss of life, regardless of circumstances, tragic. In the history of the Bakersfield Police Department, there have undeniably been isolated incidents of corruption. Those involved have been held accountable. Investigations into deadly force encounters outlined in the docuseries have been independently reviewed by the District Attorney's Office and the California Department of Justice and are matters of historical public record. While there are statistical and factual inaccuracies in the docuseries, we have compassion for the families affected. The Bakersfield Police Department is in the process of launching our transparency portal, providing access to these and other investigations, as well as accurate use of force data to our community. Our community is encouraged to review these and other investigations and form their own opinions. Every day, the almost 700 diverse men and women that make up the Bakersfield Police Department provide professional and compassionate service to our community. The Bakersfield Police Department will continue to improve and demonstrate our professionalism and our commitment to public safety, equity, and respect for all people. So I responded to that, and this was my response. Quote, we offered the Bakersfield Police Department the opportunity to participate in the docuseries. They declined, and that was the truth. One thing that was very important to me when producing this series was I wanted to get the perspective of the Bakersfield Police Department. If you watch the series, there are perspectives of law enforcement there, and I think it is important. I mean, I think there is a portion of the release that is accurate where they talk about that there are police officers, and President Biden echoed this in his State of the Union, who are out there, who are well-intentioned, who are very hard working. And then there's also a group that is corrupt. And then the corruption could become systemic. And where it becomes systemic and its tentacles so corrupt a department, there needs to be bigger and broader action. In the case of the Bakersfield Police Department, based on the calls from these families, you actually had the California State Department of Justice intervene and have an injunction and issued an injunction over the police department to change its policies and practices. But here's the thing. They talk about we will be creating a transparency portal, and then people can make a determination for themselves. What does that even mean? What is a transparency portal? Number one. Two, why haven't you created this transparency portal before? And most importantly, you have public information officers who can speak to these issues. That's one of the issues that really hurt the public trust. You were given the opportunity. This was produced with ABC News and Hulu, Colin Kaepernick, myself, and others. We wanted to make sure that all of the voices were in there, and so that people, as this press release says, can form their own opinions. And they could assess the data themselves. And again, I think that the docuseries provided, in its current form, actually a lot of voices of current and former law enforcement to give an important perspective. And yes, the voice that was missing was the Bakersfield Police Department, because you refused to participate in it. But who didn't refuse to participate? It was a former Bakersfield police officer, Damasio Diaz. And he talked about systemic corruption within the Bakersfield Police Department. He talked about how the Bakersfield police officers, including himself, were dealing drugs into the community. They were using confidential informants off the books to deal drugs into the community. This was Colin Kaepernick, my executive producers. This was his response, and my business partner, and Colin's a hero. Colin wrote, "We've already created the transparency portal. It's on Hulu. It's called Killing County." Bingo. Exactly. So then Bakersfield Police Department then responded to my statement. And then they basically said, oh, the reason that we didn't participate in it was because we had concerns about its objectivity. We had concerns about it. You hadn't even seen it. So what do you mean you had concerns about its objective? Being done by ABC. It's being done by ABC. And if you were interviewed and then you were portrayed unfairly in it, and then you wanted to say, look, one of the things you could have said was, look, we agree to be interviewed, but we want to make sure that we get a copy of our interview. So if anything is misconstrued, if anything is taken out of context, I would have been fine with that. I'm sure everyone would have been fine with that. You just declined to participate. And then afterwards said, we had problems with the objectivity. If you were treated unfairly in the process, if you were edited out, if things were taken out of context, if things like that happen, then it's a fair criticism. But refusing to participate and then criticizing it, you know what that sounds like to me? Kevin McCarthy. It sounds like it's a Kevin McCarthy move. And I say that because that's just what happened. You want to participate. You want to have the discourse. You want to have the accurate discussion. Let's do it. Let's have the discussion. But don't refuse to participate and then criticize it and say you're coming up with a transparency portal in the future in those dystopian terms. It's ridiculous. I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network. Hit subscribe. We're on our way to 1 million subscribers thanks to your support. Check out Killing County on Hulu right now. If you haven't watched it, what are you doing? If you have watched it, recommend it to a friend, family, coworker, anybody you know. It's great. Share it on social media too. Use the hashtag Killing County. Also, you could check out the book by that we just released on Kaepernick Publishing. It's called Dreamer by Akeem Aliyu, Kaepernick Publishing and Scholastic's new book. It's called Dreamer. And check us out at patreon.com/MeidasTouch, patreon.com/MeidasTouch, patreon.com/MeidasTouch. Thank you so much. I'm Ben Meiselas. Until next time.
Our blue wall stopped the red wave and election deniers got denied election. That's why we're celebrating with the new Democracy Prevails team. We've got lots of work to do, but we should all be proud that when democracy was tested, democracy prevailed. You've earned this. Don't wait. Get yours right now at store.MeidasTouch.com. That's store.MeidasTouch.com.